What's up everybody, welcome to Money Management channel. My name is Andrei and today I'm gonna be doing an update on MMTLP and FINRA saga.
I got the cash in the bag, stadium packed, born a rock star in this life, gonna live it up.
And guys, for today's video I have very interesting news. I will show you one more time that we have to be professional and we have to react on the facts, not on the rumors. If we are 100% professional, our voices will be much louder than any other voices in this story. So, and before we dive deep into all of this, guys, if you want to know more about technical analysis, if you want to enhance your trading skills, feel free to subscribe to my YouTube channel and join my Patreon account. And guys, this is the post that I wrote on January the 30th. It is a public post that you can find on my Patreon. It is pretty much all trade alerts that I made from December the 1st to January the 30th. These are the results of these alerts. You can see that all of the trades were in profit except this one on December 19th. TRWV hit a stop loss order and we've lost about 1.33% on this trade, but all other trades are in green. That is why you can use these trades in your personal trades as a part of your due diligence. So guys, you've seen many of my trade calls, all delivering strong returns in just hours. Now it's your turn to trade smarter. Join my Safe Haven Patreon tier, built for traders who want consistency, structure and real results. You will get a detailed plan to protect your portfolio, monthly one-on-one Zoom sessions with me and private Discord access with all trade alerts, lessons and exclusive updates. And here is the best part. If you don't earn more than your subscription price within 30 days, you will receive a full refund, no question asked, as long as your trading account balance is at least $2,500 and you've taken all the recommended trades during the period. No excuses, no fine print. You profit or you don't pay. Join today and let's start building your edge in the market. So, and let's begin today's video with this tweet that was written by Junk Savvy just a couple of days ago. She reposted the tweet of George Palikras where he published the part of the MMAT bankruptcy case and with an estimation of potential damages at the level of roughly $1.3 billion. And Junk Savvy wrote this: 160 days equals to $1.3 billion in estimated damages. Citadel Counsel. And why do they want to know whether our client caused a spike? Because they want to name us as a defendant in the lawsuit. $1.3 billion? I bet they do. You effed with the wrong tickers, TRCH, MMAT, MMTLP. And guys, I have to admit that it is quite interesting statement and it was mentioned in the MMAT bankruptcy case, but at the same time, take a look right here. Well, Junk Savvy was asked by Zibert, and Zibert wrote only $4 billion then. I thought this was bigger than Bernie Madoff and FTX combined. And Junk Savvy wrote, this is a potential securities fraud claims in Metamaterials bankruptcy case, not the MMTLP fiasco. And definitely it is not related to MMTLP fiasco, and that is why the only way how the MMAT bankruptcy case will be useful for MMTLP case is that during this bankruptcy case we might see some additional information that will be disclosed through the discovery that should be granted by the judge. It is the only benefit from MMAT bankruptcy case to MMTLP shareholders. And Jay Brown, in response to this tweet that was written by Junk Savvy, wrote the following: MMTLP will not be entitled to this. I considered this. MMATQ will recap all the benefits because the financials are bad. I'm starting to see why I got alienated. And let me quote to this conversation. It is quite interesting and in a minute I will explain you why. Jackson wrote, the thought is discovery. If they get what they want, keys to the kingdom, they, Wes Christian, can litigate MMTLP with the evidence. And Jay Brown wrote, so they can force people to reconcile for shares of MMTLP or NBH, but if the shares are worthless or at least pretty close to no value, What's the purpose? If MMAT goes for some kind of market fraud, they could potentially be assigned much more value, correct? Or not at all? And guys, just recently with the most recent updates that were filed by SEC, and I will show you what date is the deadline for the most recent documents. Greg McCabe himself and NextBridge Hydrocarbons admitted, and they used this price in their own calculations, that the price of MMTLP shares is roughly 18 cents. You cannot ignore this number because it will be used by the companies against which MMTLP is fighting. That is why, guys, you have to keep this number in mind as the potential baseline in the defense line of these defendants. Next one, Puzzled Raccoon wrote, "No, Wes can collect money that benefits the litigation founders and himself through an out-of-court settlement, and shareholders get nothing." And I totally agree with this statement because Wes Christian, well, he proves his intention to just kick the can down the road for as long as possible, and the only benefit for him is just to collect some fees in these litigation processes without any results. So Jay Brown responded to this: in bankruptcy or MMTLP debacle, or both, and no one gets anything but bankrupt shares of MMAT now and bankrupt shares of NBH in 2 years. And Duncan wrote, "Are you hoping for discovery?" And Jay Brown responded, "I want discovery for all of it. I'd like for it. Not to be protected, but I don't think that's possible. So I'm just hopeful whatever comes out affects everyone who has shares or participated. I don't see how MMTLP can tie into Meta's stuff though." Duncan wrote, "But the data itself bridges both. The trustee isn't ignoring MMTLP. The subpoenas name it. That's why motions to quash from Citadel, etc. are still being fought. They don't want that exposure." And Jay Brown wrote, "I agree, it bridges both, but I feel it will be spun as MMIT's demise, where it's just a bump in the road for NBH. I know that seems peculiar with the manipulation being joined at the hip, but one was a unicorn and the other can't get financial sorted out, in my opinion." So we have definitely connections between MMAT and MMTLP cases, but the most important part of this connection is the information that can help MMTLP shareholders to resolve their problem. And well, part of this resolution is the transparency. And the transparency, I believe, should be total. And George Palikros, in response to pretty much his own tweet, he added this tweet, and previously he wrote that well, the information that should be disclosed, and this is the official answer from the authorities, should be at around 13.4 gigabytes. And this can be a burdensome for to disclose this. And guys, on the one hand, it is just numbers that are not so big if you can upload this information automatically. But if you have to collect all this data manually, you have to spend a lot of time. And no one, for now, no one knows how the things might be done. And that is why, well, this statement from George Palikros, I believe, is not 100% accurate. On top of that, I want to pay attention to the most recent documents that were disclosed by SEC. Aaron Cho wrote this. An interest part in those comments was when NBH and McCabe was arguing that Orogrande should have been written down to zero at the end of 2022. That was about 1 month after you talked about it selling for $19+ billion. Guys, we have this statement proven by the documents that were disclosed by SEC. And how in the world it is even possible that within 1 month the huge value of Orogrande Basin becomes literally zero, according to McCabe and NextBridge Hydrocarbons board of directors. Which means, guys, within 1 month they completely changed their opinion. On top of that, guys, take a look right here. We have a lot of people who are trying to say that if someone's opinion doesn't follow their own opinion and doesn't stay in line in their own opinion, they just call these people paid shills. And I'm in this list because a lot of people don't like my videos because I expose both sides of the community, and I'm showing you the real story behind the scenes, and that is why a lot of people thinks that I'm a paid shill. So it is up to them. I believe that if you think so, you are complete idiots, and you don't have any other evidence of this. You just don't have any proofs of your point of view. That is why you are angry on me. So let me show you this. Brian wrote the tweet, and this tweet had a quite interesting reaction from the other side of the community. So Brian wrote in response to Scotty's tweet, and Scotty wrote, "Looks like they got returned." And Joanna Oriental doesn't like this screenshot because it is not staying in line with her position, with her point of view, and she wrote, "Funny, account opened February 2026, next shill." In my opinion, Joanna or Intel are 100% unprofessional, because when she doesn't know what to say, she just say that everyone are paid shills, and they don't have any evidence of anything that is not staying in line with her opinion. And Brian responded, "This is a real stuff happening with the stock, and one of the original pumping shill is calling someone else a shill for sharing it. Joanna Intel is fraud and bad actor. Delete your account or explain yourself, you piece of trash." And guys, for now, if you want to argue with this statement, just find the evidence that it is a cooked report or it is a real data. As simple as that. On top of that, guys, wait a second, I want to show you somewhere here. Previously, Sam IM wrote this tweet. Wait a second. The deadline of the correspondence that was disclosed just recently by SEC is 2023, and Ocelot wrote this. After looking at all of the correspondence, it's pretty clear that this was published by the SEC. Issuers don't publish correspondence like this to Edgar. Seems to suggest the SEC has closed their file on NBH's 2023 10K, as that is what all of the correspondence relate to. So, which means, guys, potentially we might see another disclosure from SEC with the most recent letters between NextBridge Hydrocarbons and SEC, and then we will find out even more details about this. On top of that, I want to pay attention again to this tweet with this screenshot. Scotty also wrote, "So if they were accounting for shares, why not all of them? I have more than that. Also, if someone was short, how did they cover or return my shares?" And definitely, if someone returned several shares to cover someone's obligations, why in the world they cannot do it for the rest of the shares? It is another quite interesting question. On top of that, guys, let me pay your attention to some other so-called minor news. We know that our main goal is to make the market more transparent and to reduce the risk for retail investors. One of the risks is definitely naked shorting. And here you can see that Ann Munder still reposted the tweet of X Market News, and X Market News wrote, "Over 9,000 people are urging President Trump to implement a temporary ban on short selling to investigate naked short selling." And Ann Munder still wrote, "If President Trump wants to make millions happy, he will demand the share count from the SEC for MMTLP." Well, I don't want to comment your own tweet because it will not be so pleasant for you. I want to pay attention to the fact that the naked short selling is banned in the United States of America. But the problem is that authorities cannot cover 100%, cannot catch 100% of these naked shorts, and we don't need any changes in the short selling procedures. We have to just improve their ability, I mean SEC and FINRA's ability to catch this naked shorting, and we have to force them to work properly. That is the only issue in this case, in my opinion. We cannot ban short selling in general because it is 100% legitimate procedure, and there is no any other markets in the world who banned just regular short selling, because it is a very natural procedure of the market. On top of that, guys, I have to warn you, because there is some kind of suspicious activity related to MMTLP that is happening right now on the crypto industry. We have several tokens that appeared just recently with the MMTLP sign in it, and someone want to benefit out of the MMTLP shareholders. But this is a pure scam. They wanted to collect your money and to rob you again. Please be aware of this, and Due Diligence wrote this, explained this in details. On top of that, guys, again, the news that will improve the transparency of the US stock market is this one. DOJ has opened internal investigation into Jane Street. They are being accused of alleged crypto and equities market manipulation. This is crazy. And Jane Street is one of the biggest companies with the trillions of dollars of allocation funds that if this investigation comes to the conclusion that they manipulated the market, it will be a huge bombshell that will change a lot of in the United States of America. That is why, guys, keep an eye on this case as well. It is not directly related to MMTLP story, but nevertheless, it is very important for the stock market in general. So I think that's all information that I want to provide you. If you like my video, please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel with notification bell. And see you guys and girls next time. Bye.
I got the cash in the bag, stadium packed. Born a rock star in this life, gone live it up on the attack.